This video was made possible thanks to the support of our fantastic patrons. You guys truly are awesome. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Lore of the Land video brought to you by Affinity for Commander. My name is Alex and today we're going to be looking at the Bane of the Immortals, Kaya the Ghost Assassin. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to like and subscribe to ensure that you don't miss out on any future content. Now, onto the video. The first time we are introduced to Kaya is on the plain of Fiora, a place deeply divided between the glistening city of Paliano and the rural towns that sit beneath it. On top sit the lawmakers, politicians and the royalty who oversee all that happens on the plain. A place where political maneuvering and criminal activity often go hand in hand. It was on this plane that Kaya worked as a blade for hire, specializing in assisting people with their more spiritual problems. By far the greatest challenge Kaya was presented with was offered to her by Machesa the Black Rose. The contract? To kill the current monarch, Ghost King Brago. With her powers of intangibility, Kaya was easily able to slip into the king's dining room whilst he feasted. She then swiftly embedded her dagger into his transparent throat. With her target now deceased for a second time, Kaya's contract was fulfilled. The newly appointed Queen Marchesa thanked Kaya for her services and rewarded her handsomely. It was, however, the fate of Kaya's home world that caused her to be embroiled in one of the biggest conflicts the multiverse had ever seen, the War of the Spark. On her unknown home plane, the crystalline blue sky was scarred with cracks, patterning it with a jagged rainbow. While sitting below this ruined sky, a strange madness had gripped her people, causing them to lose more of their sanity with each passing year. Looking for a solution, Kaya crossed paths with a powerful planeswalker, Nicol Bolas, an elder dragon who promised Kaya he would restore the sky over her world. All she needed to do in return was to travel to the plane of Ravnica and assassinate the Obsidian Ghost Council. Sometime later, following the events of this story, it would occur to Kaya that the dragon himself may well have been the one to scar her home sky in the first place. Upon arriving in Ravnica, Kaya joined forces with Ralzarek and Vrashka, two fellow planeswalkers under the service of Nicol Bolas. Both Ral and Vrashka had created ties to guilds within the city and used their influence to plan an attack on the Orzhov Syndicate. Whilst her new comrades distracted the guards of the Orzhov Cathedral, Kaya slipped through the church's corridors. She finally found and eliminated all of the ghosts that made up the Obsidian Council with little issue. However, upon completing her task, she was suddenly burdened with a huge weight. This pressure that gripped Kaya was the result of a loophole in the Ghost Council's enormous contracts. Kaya, upon killing the ghosts, had now been appointed the new guildmaster of the Orzhov, and as such, was now bound by all of the Orzhov contracts and holdings. Following Kaya's ascent to guild leader, she formed an uneasy alliance with Tasha Karlov, a descendant of the head of the Ghost Council. Initially, Tasha backed Kaya as the new guild leader, however, their relationship quickly soured. Kaya's first act of authority was annulling a large number of the Orzhov's contracts, freeing many ghosts from their conscripts and bondage to the Syndicate. This was a breath of relief for much of Ravnica, but a grave loss to the Orzhov, pun intended. Losing their grip on so much political influence and power due to their leader's new altruism irked many within the Syndicate, and as such Tasha, who was still yearning for the spot of Guildmaster herself, started to distance herself from Kaya, which only served to further undermine her authority as the new guild leader. Due to the loss of such huge source of the guild's income, Kaya was forced to start raising the taxes on the people within the city. This, as will likely surprise none of you, was not a popular action. The increase in the tithes now owed to the Orzhov in fact led to rioting across Ravnica, The people became so angry that the Orzhov Senate had to step in to keep the peace amongst the districts. Whilst Kaya struggled with Ravnica's social-economic system, she continued to complete tasks for Nikobolas. Aided once again by Ral Zarek, the two planeswalkers conquered a location near to the implicit maze in Ravnica. This was done in preparation to help the arrival of Bolas's army, setting up the incoming invasion of the city. And sure enough, the day came where the Elder Dragon's forces descended on Ravnica. Upon seeing the dragon's true plan, both Kaya and Ral defected from Bolas, electing instead to fight for the people of Ravnica. Together the planeswalkers switched on the interplanar beacon, a device that called other planeswalkers to Ravnica. The pair used this to act as a distress call, pleading for aid for the coming fight. Their call was thankfully answered by a number of planeswalkers from across the multiverse, all coming to help Ravnica. This was, however, all part of Bolas's grand plan. He used the power of the immortal sun, which he had obtained from Ixalan, to trap all of the planeswalkers who had come to stand against him. All of whom now were exactly where he wanted them to be. As the battle began, Kaya attempted to rally the Orzhov to her side to fight the Elder Dragon. This was initially, however, unsuccessful. Prominent members of the guild questioned Kaya's loyalty, whilst others questioned her motives for having the guild fight at all. In fact, the syndicate only really decided to help when they realised that the destruction of their plane would really put a downer on the profits for the next quarter. I'm not even exaggerating. Following this, Kaya made her way to a strategy meeting with the other planeswalkers trapped on Ravnica, as well as the leaders of several guilds. At Jace's recommendation, Kaya, along with a few select others, was sent to negotiate with the remaining guilds who had chosen to stay neutral in the war, in an attempt to persuade them to join the resistance against Bolas. First were the Selesnya, who at the time were guided by Amara Tendris, who initially refused the planeswalkers' request for aid. It was only thanks to the command of a recently awakened Tristani, the guild's true leader, that Amara's decision was overruled, and the Selesnya then joined the fight. Next, Kaya visited the Golgari, who were ruled over by their queen, Vrashka. She, like Kaya, had finally seen the dragon for what he was. She pledged the Golgari's full force to assist in the coming battle. Finally, Kaya journeyed to the Rakdos to convince them to support the other guilds in their cause. After a quick death match and the birthing of a new Blood Witch, Rakdos' forces too joined the rest of Ravnica in standing against Bolas. With all 10 guilds now on board, Kaya's task was complete, and she was able to join in with the battle for Ravnica. Using her abilities of intangibility, the assassin was able to make short work of many of the Elder Dragon's undead legion. Fighting throughout the battle, Kaya made sure to leave her mark on Bolas' horde. Following the combined efforts of the Planeswalkers and the guilds of Ravnica, Nikobolas was eventually defeated. After the battle had concluded, Kaya rejoined the surviving Planeswalkers and the rest of Ravnica in a plane-wide celebration. Seeking to atone for her sins in what she did to help Nikobolas, Kaya took her own oath and joined the Gatewatch. She was, however, later summoned before the newly crowned Living Guild Pact, Niv Mizzet, and the other guild masters. Their judgment was to spare Kaya on the condition that she hunted down those who stayed loyal to Bolas or defected too late. As such, Kaya was tasked with hunting down the one who had commanded the Dread Horde to invade Ravnica, and led to the death of countless Ravnican citizens. And with that, Kaya left to start her hunt for Liliana Vess. And that is it for another video. But what do you think of our new black-white planeswalker? Or what do you think will become of her mission to kill Liliana? Whatever your thoughts, leave them in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you wish to see more content like this. And if you really like us, you could consider becoming a patron or following us on Twitter at 4Commander. Links to all are in the description, and as always, we will see you next time.